I am going to commit suicide now.
Okay, so I know we promised Tenet last week, but A Quiet Place 2 is coming out, so we got to capitalize on that hype.
Don't lie to the people. You know, the only reason we're not talking about Tenet is because we have no idea what the fuck was going on.
Okay, look, despite the lack of our understanding of Tenet, I'm your host, Captain Grant Fanny. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jomo. So we're doing A Quiet Place 1. This is your first time viewing it, right?
Yeah, the first time I've seen it.
The opening scene for this movie kind of just explains the whole premise of this movie. What I mean by that is just that little girl kind of fucking everything up.
Dude, okay, here's the thing, right? I feel like the movie's trying to make us like feel bad for the little girl or something, or like they're trying to make us sympathize with her. But she's like the root of the problem. She causes most of the problems in the movie.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because I mean, like, if she would have never gave the little boy the rocket ship, the beginning of the movie wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, and okay, I guess we'll get into it a little more. Your first time, give me what you think. I want overall what you think of the movie.
I liked it. I like John Krasinski. I like Emily Blunt. The kids are like hit or miss for me. They kind of just like sometimes they're useful and sometimes they're just in the way, or they like make an issue where there doesn't need to be an issue, I guess.
I totally agree with you there. Look, I think it's a good concept, but the kids just fuck everything up. They're so stupid.
Yeah, the kids are like, if the kids didn't do the things that they did, this movie would have been like 30 minutes. Like, it wouldn't have been this whole drawn out thing. Like, it didn't need to.
They would have gone home from that little convenience store raid. They would have gone home, played some Monopoly. Nothing bad would have happened.
And then also, I think this ending is terrible. I think it's a really bad ending. I do not like the ending at all.
I wonder if the second one will pick up right where this one ends off, or if it'll like pick up right where this one left off, but still not show us what happens that night.
What happens?
Yeah, be like the next day or something like that.
Because, okay, here's the thing. We know they survive it, like what happens at the end, because there's a second movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, why did they have to figure out how to stop the aliens after the dad died?
I thought she would realize that, like, once she realized it was high pitch frequency or high sounds, that they would do something else other than her hearing aid.
It just seems like he died for no reason. Like, it doesn't, like, they just did it to try to, like, make me feel sad about it.
I have written in my notes that when he drops that axe, why? He could have kept the axe. Like, there was no need to drop the axe. I know maybe he would have died or maybe he would have lived.
He would have, yeah.
But he could have got some good
'cause
licks in or something. You didn't need to just
it said
die.
they had like armor, right?
Uh-huh.
It said they had armor, so the axe probably wouldn't have did anything. But yeah, like if I was there, I wouldn't have dropped the axe. Like I would have still tried to, try.
Yeah, just not give up and scream and stand there. He didn't even make a sound when he was just getting eaten up, man. That's
Okay, but that's okay. He didn't need to die.
No.
Because literally 10 minutes later, they figure out how to stop them.
That's true. Just use a high pitched song, and she does it earlier in the movie, and she just doesn't realize, I guess. But she does it like twice.
She wasn't facing it.
She does it once when she's hiding, and then she does it again in the corn silo or whatever that big old thing is they get into.
Yeah, the silo.
That supermarket sequence, it just shows off that the kids are going to be annoying the whole movie. They're going to just make bad decisions. Because that's probably my biggest like nitpick or pet peeve with this movie is how annoying those kids are throughout the movie. I guess
The kids just.
and look, we'll never know
Man.
how that one grew up. I don't know his name. Poor little
He
guy.
couldn't even make it that far.
If it wasn't for his sister, he still possibly, and look, it is a little his fault too because he did grab those batteries and he should not have.
To power up the rocket ship.
And an adult should have probably noticed he was just walking around with it, but
That's okay.
You should
That's
not
another thing.
have-
Why is the youngest kid walking in the back by himself
he's got everybody six, man.
with all these like monsters roaming around? Like you would think the mom or the dad would walk in the back and one of them would walk in the front.
Yeah,
right?
like mom in
Like,
front,
that's how you-
like dad in
yeah,
back.
and then the back. Exactly. That's how you should do it. But no, they're just gonna let the little 5-year-old kid walk by himself in the middle of the apocalypse.
Yeah, and because of that, he gets eaten. And because he gets eaten, you know what decision they make? They decide to have another kid.
They exactly.
It's
like
got-
where you can't make sound, where sound will kill you.
The stupidest decisions. I think that's what also annoys me is that this freaking movie, everybody makes the dumbest decisions possible. Because during an apocalypse,
maybe I don't like
Oh,
this
you say
movie.
maybe, look, the concept is so good and it's got some strong points, but they just make bad decisions throughout the movie.
The whole movie is just bad decisions. Maybe we're looking too much into this, or maybe me personally is looking too much into this. Like maybe I just don't notice it with other horror movies, I guess. Like people just making bad decisions one after another. But in this movie, it's just obvious
It really
that
is.
everything they do is just a terrible decision.
And I think it's the way they make those decisions. Because for me, a big part of it, I couldn't really stand the deaf girl, is because she gave off so much attitude, and all she wanted to do was make the worst decision possible.
She was so rude to her dad,
Yeah.
trying to help her hear.
He's just trying to make her
Like
earpieces.
he's doing all he can to help her.
Yeah, he's got like 50 ear. Like, it cannot be easy in that post-apocalyptic world to just go around.
He's just
and
taking
find...
apart radios. He probably just figured this stuff out by reading a book that he found. Like he's probably not like he's no expert. He doesn't know what he's doing. And she wants to be all rude. Like, come on.
And I don't remember the exact reason, but she decides to run away, and
because she's mad.
yeah, she's a little upset with like a talk her and her dad had, so she runs away, and her poor mom has to give birth in silence alone.
She leaves her mom alone, 9 months pregnant. You know your mom's about to give birth, so you run away, and now she's by herself. Like having, like her water breaks and then she's having like contractions or whatever. They really were just in that like little like 15 and 20-minute like scene part right there where she was like where the mom was by herself. They were really just like fucking her up. They
Yeah,
were just
they
throwing
were.
everything they could at her.
That scene of her in the bathtub is so tense. It's like right outside
Oh,
the door.
That is terrifying. That was really good. That's what I'm saying. I really like Emily Blunt. I really like John Krasinski. Like that's a really cool scene because that shit is terrifying. That is so bad.
Yeah, and
you can't make a sound.
and to see it too, and to like it looks so gross when you can see it opening up its ear right there. Oh my god.
That's another thing. I called that shit. Just shoot it when it opens up its ears to listen.
Oh yeah.
Like why? Just do it. Like it opens up its ears to listen all the
Yeah, it
time.
does.
You don't need the high pitch.
No, you don't actually. You know what? Maybe you said that and I just didn't notice that you said that, but that's a good point.
It opened up its mouth or like its ears and everything, and it was like looking for when they were all in the basement together before she like puts up the thing to the microphone or like cochlear implant thing. And I was just like, just shoot it. It's opening up its armor. Just shoot it. And then what did they do after using the earpiece?
They shoot it.
They shot it because its ears were open.
Yeah.
And look what happened. It died.
Yeah, John Krasinski just hated his kids in this movie.
It was yes.
I don't understand why she was so upset with her dad either. Like, her dad never really seemed mad. He was like making her better hearing aids, and he was like trying to be a good dad.
At some point, you gotta understand. Like, look at your situation. Look what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, maybe.
And you want to get mad at your dad?
Like, you gotta understand they're just trying to make the best decision possible for that situation.
Like, I'm thinking about it. If that was like, I don't know what the fuck I'd be doing.
I don't know
Especially
either.
with 3 kids or 2 kids at that point. Like, come on. Like, what do you want me to do, man? Also, that old man like just randomly screaming.
Oh
That
yes,
was super random.
Yeah,
what was that
well,
about?
I was gonna say that. I actually have that in my notes, and I was about to bring it up. What is that? Like the old man?
Like, why
is he being?
Why
a
is that?
cunt?
It just kind of throws off like, I don't know. For me, it kind of just like throws off the pacing a little bit. Like, what even is that? Like, what do you need
Why
to
would
do
you
that
do
for?
I
that?
think
Why
it
would you
was
do any
just
of
a
that?
way to give us like a quick scare. But like that monster, maybe it's the one that comes to their house, maybe it's not. It never really comes back in that scene. It just kind of eats that old guy, and that's that.
Yeah, and then they just walk past, I guess.
Yeah. What?
So
I don't know.
so
He was just being a cunt, I guess. I don't know why he did it either. It was cool to see somebody else was like still. I guess it was just better to see those fires out in the distance. Like it's good to know
yeah, there's a
people
lot of
out
people
there. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, good to know. And like you didn't
And the
have to
first
do a
person
crazy
we see
person.
just is a
Yeah, he's just a cunt in the forest who killed his wife. Maybe ate her. I'm not really sure what happened there.
yeah. What was going on with that? Like, that's what I'm saying. They don't explain that, I guess.
I don't know. That was a random scene. Look, some things I like. I thought this movie actually did really good on the cinematography was pretty good. I liked a lot of the shots. I never felt like they were too boring or stagnant. They always framed really well. I always love some good cinematography in a movie. It'll make or break for me, to be honest.
Okay.
I liked the design of the monsters and the monsters in general. I like the concept of not being able to make the sound. Something that I don't understand is how an alien race who cannot See, only here built spaceships. Don't understand it. How'd they get here?
Maybe it was like a meteor or something.
I liked the music. I didn't think it was amazing or anything, but I thought it complemented the scenes well. Like during the bathtub scene, that was super intense. Or like the scene where John Krasinski's trying to get his kids to the truck. The music was really well there.
Okay.
And I thought that the climax was a really good length. It wasn't, it like, once it popped off, it just popped off. She flipped off those lights to code red and everything was going. She was giving birth. They were setting off fireworks. Silos were breaking. The monster was just wreaking havoc.
I think I generally like this movie. Like in my head, I'm saying I like this movie, but the more I talk about it, I'm just like, there's a lot of dumb shit going on. Like, why did like 90% of this movie have to happen? Like 90% of this movie didn't need to happen.
Okay, so maybe this will help tilt you over that edge. The things I did not like. That little girl. I really could not stand her. I brought it up, I know, but it's my biggest problem. She causes a lot of problems, and she's very rude and does not really redeem herself.
I did not like the little girl at all either.
I don't like the decision making in this movie. I feel like everybody makes the stupidest decision possible. You could see that with the toys, the battery. Why in God's name would you have a baby during an apocalypse? My God, just pull out.
Like, I really like the scene where she's in the bathtub. That's a really good scene.
I agree.
Okay, I would say the part from where she switches the light switch to when they go in the basement and it's flooding, that was really good. I liked all of that. That was really nice.
I gotta say, when I was trying to write a synopsis, I didn't really know what to say. Like, she's pregnant, but up until they flip the right lights red,
Yeah.
they don't really do anything. It's just like a lot of world building. Like they're just hanging out, being a family.
Yeah. But once they flip the lights red and then
It goes crazy.
Yeah. Probably to where the basement's flooding and like they fixed that. That's probably to where I stopped. Like I liked it. Like it was a good movie. But then after that, I don't like the ending. It is no. They just undermined the reason he needed to die. Like it was just this unstoppable like killing machine. And like 10 minutes later they figured out how to stop it. Like it just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
They should have I don't think they should have killed the monster at the end. They should have just like ran away or something.
That would have made
They should have kept the monster as like this unstoppable killing
I
machine.
agree with you.
Maybe at least until the second
I
one.
do not like the fact that it was just like unstoppable up until the point of
It didn't need to be unstoppable.
until the movie could end.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with this movie. They kind of just undermined the whole sacrifice of the dad.
So overall, I guess we'll get our overall scores right out of the way. What you thinking?
I really like John Krasinski.
Okay.
I really like Emily Blunt.
Okay,
I hate the kids.
understandable.
There's probably like a good like 35, 40-minute part of the movie that I liked. The rest of it was like hit or miss for me. And the ending was terrible. I'd probably have to go with like a 4 or a 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think, look, it's a good concept. I like some of the sequences, and I like the design of the monsters. But the decision making by the characters kind of made it hard to watch. One of those where you just get frustrated because nobody in their right mind would make that.
Before we started talking about this movie, like right now, I was probably more at like an 8 or a 9. And the more like we just like dove into it and like started thinking about it more, like yeah, like come on. A lot of this stuff is just stupid.
I agree.
But I mean, I'm excited for the second one. I like Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, so of course, as we know, it is getting a second one. So off a budget of $17 million, it made a total of $340 million. So we are getting a second one.
It's a really cool concept. Like it's really
and I'm excited so we can
what's it
see
called?
how it happened, because I want to know how a sightless creature made it to Earth.
How am I trying to say this? Like it's like a unique movie. Like it's
Nothing's
like
it.
Nothing's like this. Yeah, there hasn't been a movie. I guess like Bird Box.
But I didn't really like Bird Box. It's kind of long and they can't see, but how do you display that in a visionary art form, you know?
That's a good point. But yeah, there was another movie like this kind of.
Oh yes, in the basement.
It's called
in
Don't
the
Breathe.
basement.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Old
like
guy.
with the old man who's blind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do know what you're talking about.
I've never seen that movie.
Me either. Maybe we'll have to add it to the list.
Maybe.
All right, trivia. We got Quiet Time trivia time. So the actress who plays her name is Millicent Simmons. She plays Regan, the deaf girl. She's
Didn't know
actually
her name.
been deaf since infancy due to a medication overdose. Not sure
That's fucked.
whose, but it is foul. Good to see her land a role though, like that.
In the fucking Eternals,
Mm-hmm.
one of the characters is deaf, and I think she's deaf in real life as well.
I like that. You love to see
I
it.
don't remember who it is. It's one of the Eternals, I'm pretty sure.
That bathtub scene, it was done in one take, and apparently after it was done, John Krasinski said that Amelia Blunt fell immediately out of character and asked the crew what everybody was having for lunch. That's crazy to see that.
Just a normal day for her.
Yeah, that scene was super tense. I don't know how that was done in one take, which is well, it doesn't surprise me because this was actually shot in only 36 days, and I wonder if that has to do with the lack of dialogue. So there doesn't have to be a lot of rehearsal. It's just like follow and do.
It's more of a facial thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the non-deaf cast members would have to learn sign language.
Yes,
So that was
actually,
probably part of it.
in order to connect with the characters, John Krasinski, he edited the first version and he made it so it could work without sound whatsoever. So apparently to him, it could work with or without sound. So that's kind of cool.
There's not a lot of talking, only really
I think it's 30
underneath
minutes
the
in.
waterfall.
Yeah, when they're
right?
under that waterfall, they get the first
And then
piece of dialogue.
also in the basement.
Yes, when
Other
they're
than that, it's like entirely no
quiet
talking or just
sign language.
Sign language, yeah.
So in the beginning there, it's about 10, 12, 11 minutes in. He's trying to do a little list, and there's a little checkboard of cities he's like tried to reach. Tokyo's misspelled on the radio checklist.
Oh, another thing, I just reminded me. In his basement,
Mm-hmm.
it's just exposition.
Yeah, it is. It's just like newspapers catching you up on how it
It's
happened.
just straight up exposition. Like they literally list it out for you. It's like they're armored, no weaknesses. What do we do? That's literally what the checklist says.
Good way to get it out.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for telling me. Now I know.
All right, our last piece of trivia here is day 473 of the invasion is October 3rd. This means that the invasion started on June 17th, about 2 weeks before July 4th, and this explains why they had fireworks in their field.
I never thought about that. It's kind of like
Accepted
it just seemed like something that you would do.
Yeah.
It just seems like a smart
I never
decision to make.
Out of all the things we've nitpicked, I found it funny that somebody felt it necessary to put this on IMDb so they wouldn't nitpick it
why
anymore.
like I don't know. I didn't question that. That was just like, but I guess I mean it makes sense. Firework. I actually thought that was a smart idea.
Me too.
One of the smart ideas in the movie. Set off fireworks if you make a sound.
Yeah, so it could be loud and distracting. Covers
That
up
was
a-
actually a very good decision.
Yes. So any last words?
I'm excited for the second one.
Me too.
That's all I got. I don't know. It was a movie.
Well, we have a commentary on it up on anchor.fm. I tweeted it. Thanks for watching us rant about A Quiet Place. If you want to know what we're doing next time, here's I'm just kidding. It's Tenet. We'll do Tenet. It's been recorded. It's done. I wasn't lying. It's just been pushed back. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you guys liked the video, be sure to check out the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe as well. See you guys in the next one.